Right now, someone is using you, not violently, not obviously, quietly, strategically, with a smile on their face and a plan in their head that you were never invited to see. You've been working harder than everyone around you. You've been loyal. You've been honest. And somehow, the people who do less keep winning more. The promotion goes to the one who barely showed up. The credit goes to the one who contributed nothing. The respect, the real, deep, silent respect, goes to someone who said almost nothing in that meeting while you explained everything. You think the problem is talent, or luck, or timing. It is none of those things. The problem is that you are playing a game you were never taught the rules to. And while you were busy being transparent, being available, being good, others were playing the invisible game, Machiavelli's game. And tonight that changes. Let me validate something first. You are not weak. You are not stupid. You were simply taught the wrong code. You were told that honesty earns trust, that hard work gets noticed, that being kind opens doors, and in a perfect world, it does. But you do not live in a perfect world. You live in a social hierarchy built on perception, leverage, and strategic positioning. The people winning around you didn't get luckier, they got colder. They learned something you were never supposed to learn, that the world does not reward goodness. It rewards power, and power belongs to those who understand human psychology at a level most people never reach. The real enemy is not your competition. It is your own openness, your habit of showing your hand, your need to be understood, to explain yourself, to seek approval from people who are quietly building maps of your weaknesses while you do it. You were not failed by effort. You were failed by a system that never taught you how power actually moves. Tonight, that system ends. Niccolo Machiavelli was born in Florence in 1469. He watched governments rise and collapse. He watched good men be destroyed by clever ones. He watched loyalty become a weapon turned against the loyal. And then he wrote it all down, not as a warning, but as a manual. The rulers of his era called it dangerous. The church called it immoral. They banned it. They burned it. Because what Machiavelli had done was unforgivable. See, he had told the truth about power in a world that needed people to believe power was fair. He wrote this: "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." That single sentence has made men uncomfortable for 500 years, because deep down, every man who has ever been taken advantage of knows it is true. Tonight we go deeper. 7 rules from the mind of the most dangerous political philosopher who ever lived. Lesson 1. Never show your full hand. The man who reveals everything owns nothing. You know this feeling. You walk into a conversation excited about your plan, your idea, your move, your opportunity, and you explain it completely. Every detail, every reason, every step, and then it disappears. Someone else acts on it, or worse, it gets killed before it even starts by opinions that were never invited. You think sharing is connecting. Machiavelli says sharing is exposing. The psychology here is simple. Information is leverage. The moment someone knows your full strategy, they can counter it, copy it, or destroy it. Mystery creates power. Incompleteness forces people to project strength onto you. When you say little, they assume much, and usually they assume more than reality. Starting today, cut your explanations in half. Give results, not process. Show arrival, not the journey. Let them wonder how you got there. Drop this in the comments. I speak in results, not in reasons. Lesson 2, let them underestimate you. Your greatest armor is their low expectation. There is a version of you that walks into every room trying to prove your worth, trying to establish yourself, trying to correct every wrong impression. Stop. Machiavelli understood something that almost no one teaches, that he's the underestimated man holds the most dangerous position in any room. When they don't see you coming, you arrive at full force. Think about the colleague who never speaks in meetings but always seems to get exactly what they want. Think about the person who appears to be doing nothing and somehow ends up running everything. They are not lucky. They are unseen on purpose. This knowledge is for protection, not destruction. The practical move: stop correcting people who underestimate you. Let them. Their low expectation is your invisibility cloak and your competitive edge combined. Lesson 3. Master your emotions before they master you. Every emotional reaction you show is a blueprint handed to your enemy. You have been in a conversation where someone pushed exactly the right button, and your body responded. Before your mind could intervene, your jaw tightened. Your voice shifted. Your eyes flickered. In that moment, they learned everything. They found the lever, and they will use it again. Machiavelli had no patience for emotional men in positions of power. Not because emotions are weakness, but because visible emotions are intelligence leaks. The man who can sit in discomfort without reacting owns the room. The man who reacts owns nothing. The psychology: when you don't react, people escalate. They push harder, say more, reveal more. Your stillness becomes a trap they walk into willingly. Starting today, introduce a 2-second pause before every response in a high-stakes conversation. 2 seconds of stone. Let them interpret your silence. They will almost always interpret it wrong, and in that wrong interpretation, you find your advantage. Drop this in the comments. My stillness is my strategy. Lesson 4. Control the narrative or become a character in someone else's. The man who does not define himself will be defined, and not kindly. Every social circle, every workplace, every relationship has a story. And in that story, every person has a role. The question is, who wrote your role? If you have been passive, if you have let others speak about you without correction, if you have stayed quiet while your image was being built by hands that are not yours, you are already a character in a story you did not author. Machiavelli understood that perception is policy. What people believe about you is more powerful than what is actually true about you. A prince who is seen as powerful often faces fewer challenges than a prince who is powerful but is perceived as weak. Control your narrative. Speak first. Frame your actions before others can misframe them. Not with arrogance, with quiet, deliberate authority. Lesson 5. Reward loyalty visibly. Punish betrayal swiftly and once. The man who forgives everything teaches everyone that the cost of betrayal is 0. You have been generous with forgiveness. You have told yourself that the bigger person walks away clean. And the people around you have noticed. They have noticed that crossing you carries no consequence, that your anger fades, that your boundary was never a boundary. It was a suggestion. Machiavelli was ruthless on this point. Punish once, punish completely, and move forward. The purpose is not cruelty. The purpose is clarity. When the cost of betrayal is real, loyalty becomes a rational choice, not just a moral one. Starting today, stop quietly absorbing disrespect and calling it strength. Name the line, enforce the line. One time clearly without drama, then never repeat it. Drop this in the comments. I set the price of crossing me once. Lesson 6. Silence is not empty. Silence is a weapon. The quiet man in the room is always the most dangerous man in the room. You have been told to speak up, to advocate for yourself, to make yourself heard, and in some contexts, you should. But Machiavelli watched generals and princes and merchants win wars. They never fought, simply by saying nothing at the right moment. Silence creates tension. Tension creates confessions. Confessions create leverage. Try this in your next high-pressure conversation. Ask one question, then go completely silent. Do not fill the quiet. Do not rescue them from the awkwardness. Sit in it like stone. Within 30 seconds, they will begin filling the space. And what they fill it with will tell you everything you need to know. Lesson 7. Position yourself. Effort without positioning is invisible. Working hard inside the wrong position is the most exhausting form of invisibility. The hardest working person in the room is often the least powerful because they are too busy executing to ever step back and position. Machiavelli was obsessed with strategic placement. Not what you do, but where you stand when you do it. Who sees you? Who owes you? Who needs you? Ask yourself right now, are you positioned where your value is visible? Or are you buried in execution, doing excellent work that the wrong people see, or no one sees at all? Real power is not in working more. It is in working inside a position where your moves create maximum leverage. Drop in the comments, I am positioning, not just performing. The old you is dead. The version of you that explained himself to people who were taking notes. The version that forgave without cost. That showed every card. That worked in silence, hoping someone was watching. That version died tonight in this room, in this moment, with these words in his ears. You are not a good man trying to survive a cruel world. You are a weapon, pointed at your own future, forged in every moment you were overlooked, sharpened in every room you were underestimated. You were not broken by this world. You were built by it. And now you know the rules they never wanted you to know. You belong to no one. Not to the people who defined you, not to the system that underpaid you, not to the relationships that drained you without returning. You are sovereign. And Machiavelli's final, unspoken lesson, the one behind every page of The Prince, is this. Power was never something they had over you. It was something you handed to them, one soft response at a time. Take it back. Drop this in the comments. I was always the prize. I just forgot. You found this video for a reason. You do not stumble into Machiavelli by accident. Something in you already knew that the version of you that survives on goodness alone was not going to be enough. Something already understood that the game was bigger than you were playing. If this broke something open in you, that's the point. Subscribe, not because I'm asking you to, because you've now seen what this channel is, and you already know there are videos waiting for you here that most people are not ready to watch. Share this with one man in your life who is still playing by the rules they gave him. He needs this more than he knows. And before you leave, answer this in the comments. What is the one moment in your life where you showed your full hand and paid the price for it? The answer to that question is where your real education begins.